So for dinner last night, we wound up going by a pita pit. And Aaron hadn't been there in a while. I actually hadn't been there in less than a while. But I didn't realize they had a bacon cheeseburger pita. And I'm just like, that is so Portland. Morning. It's 7:29. Practice is at 10 today. Up at a park in Hockinson. I'm very familiar with the name. I didn't try to weirdly pronounce it, because it's this census designated area north of Orchards, which is a census designated area in the northeast of Vancouver. But as there's a whole butt ton of people that live in Orchards, that it's just considered like a neighborhood, even though it's not incorporated into the city. I'm not sure if it has been or not. It's not definitely big enough to be like a borough, but it's definitely like you don't have your address, Orchards, Washington. It doesn't exist. So that's why I think of it as a census designated area, but you don't actually, but your post office is still Vancouver. And same thing, but Hockinson does? Like, I'm not sure if it's an actual town. I'm gonna Wikipedia that real fast. Because we have cluster cities around here, things get weird. It's a census designated place, yes. Census designated, there's people that technically can qualify that they live there. So in the 2010 census, there's 4,700 people that live there. Based on the per capita income, one of the more reliable measures of affluence, Hockinson ranks 86th out of 522 areas in the state of Washington to be ranked. So yeah, I don't think there's anything in between Brush Prairie. Maybe Brush Prairie's butt up against Battleground. Battleground's gotten kind of big. But anyways, I need to get back to stretching and stuff. I figured I'd just take the camera off the charger, walk around for a little bit. Woke up this morning and made my waffles, plug it in, and then made the coffee. Have not eaten my yogurt yet. So yeah, I'm gonna take care of some business and oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is the day after back. I tend to have that sort of super soreness. Okay, I will see you guys probably on the road up to practice. Well, I'm out here at the park. That is a tiny little water bottle. It's like for children. It's like 9:33. I have my phone. Why do I keep guessing the time? 9:38. Yeah, I thought there was like 2 parking lots. There is, but one of them goes to the off-leash area. I hear flowing water. That would be flowing water, yes. I don't know what creek this is, but snow is falling off people's car. I'm not sure if this is what you translate it as, but I'm just like, wir sind in der Boonies. Just, we are in the Boonies, but I'm not sure. Probably not, it might be Das Boonies, because it's not a German word, so they tend to just neuter it. You need to figure that one out. There are ducks over there. We're obviously going to be using these fields, but as there is a mess ton of dogs on this field as I've been here, there is a mess ton of mess. Haha. Gross, I know. So yeah, I'm going to keep walking around. There's guys over there doing baseball stuff, so we'll see what's going on. Coffee and all that jazz, I gotta piddle. So yeah! Well, let's see here. Wintry mixes started. That's great. Phone's in the pocket. There's a Pokestop here. I mainly spent a lot of time at offensive line because our offensive line didn't want to show up today. Me. I mean, we had a news center and he's great.
Well, we need guys to start fucking. Hey, we do need guys to start paying.
Yeah. I haven't put it down yet. That's part of the issue. Is I'm looking and I see this thing and it's not usually there. Warm up. Warm up. Oh no. Oh no. I left the door open. Oh. Christ. Look at all this. Don't need no damn Dorothy. I mean, I like Dorothy, but look, it's all wet. Thankfully, I keep a towel. It's microfiber. Microfiber. But yeah. I don't want to say it was muddy because the dirt really wasn't going anywhere, but we had water on everything. I mean, can you guys... Yeah. Since I was on offensive line, mostly, going through that, I was basically standing in one spot and my pants were just wicking water up from the ground. That creek, people were like, oh, why is it so muddy here? I'm like, there's a creek right there. The water table is high. That's why you have a... Oh, is it starting to... Oh, it's starting to actually snow more. Oh, bad. All right, let us get me the out of here, and I'm gonna go home. I need to turn the windshield wipers on because I can't see. All right, let's see. Do I remember how to get out of here? So we've got, like, it's a cute little dog park-ish. There's baseball fields here and all that jazz, but it's just me. It's so far out here, but the problem is we can't be in Longview because nobody will show up. People further up north. And now it's like, we can't be in Vancouver, so I don't know where we're gonna go next week. We could always come back here. Mud City. Like, there's a little lake right there. That's probably what the creek drains into. This is a wetlands. It's like a wetlands for Lacamas Creek. Is this? Oh, spikes. I'm always worried that, like, they're turned around and I'm just gonna rake my tires over the coals. 12:31. Well, practice started at like 10. Whatever. No, it didn't. Ah, mirror. I hit it on the way in. Because I swooped in with the camera and mirror was like, I'm like, ugh. That's what all that was. And then, but because I hit it, the lip popped the battery down. The battery, not the actual battery, but the battery. So anyways, but I got in it, you know, I was like, okay, once the line had dissolved and people were just sort of standing around talking, I went out to outside linebacker. And I talked to the coaches to put my mind at ease. He's like, oh yeah, you're a defense guy. I'm like, okay, cool. And I got all my coverages. Not that I was, 20? No, 10? I'd lost track of plays. I was just in the moment. But yeah, my pads are down there, all upside down. Aaron and I, but we went through everything on offense. And the thing I'm still worried about is pass protection. Because it's like, we've got guys that may or may not be good. And plus, I mean, I gotta... Part of the issue is I don't have faith in myself. And it's backed up the fact that I'm used to so many offensive line that, like, suck. And that I'm gonna be one of those guys that sucks. And I don't want to be one of those guys. That sucks. But as I've been basically a guard for 2 weeks, you know, what do you do with pass protection? I mean, yeah, the pulling stuff's cool. And when we actually did have defense out and we were doing second level stuff, run plays and whatnot, it was great because as the plays worked, as Thor was like, yeah, he's not going to see you coming. And it's the same thing as there, you know, center was like, go for that guy. I'm like, oh, okay. Right, okay. Because I'm still processing all the plays that we just went through while the receivers were doing their routes. And so I just like ran second level straight towards my guy and he just turned around and it's gonna be great in a game. I don't want to give anything away, but I'll say this, Pedro did not see, I mean, we weren't in pads, so I didn't lay him out necessarily, but he did not see me coming. I've been yakking for 6 minutes now. It's really weird. I bet you it's weird for you guys because editing and then, because I noticed Grace does that. She goes, I don't know, how is that like, where is this in the video? Because I've been recording for 20 minutes and it's like 2 minutes into the video. And so that's fun. Wild West Painting 360. Should I announce that phone number? No, that's free advertising. I'm not going to. I already said their company name. Whatever. So I don't have my Zenith helmet right now because it's being painted. Ooh, we're going up to 50. hot dang, as I do 60. Well, we got a big old truck over there. You see that? 4 headlights. Did I just get on Padden Parkway? Just get on Padden Parkway? What road am I on? I gotta listen to my Dorothy. I'll check you guys when I get home. Alright, so I have deodorant on this morning, so I'm not gonna take off my upper stuff until we're later when we wanna go out and get food. I've changed my pants because they were gross. And my socks. Because not only did my pants wick up a lot of mud, my socks also got it too. My cleats, surprise, here's the thing about that field. The cleats aren't that dirty. Because they're relatively water repellent. And the mud was not sticky mud. So it wasn't,
wet mud.
It was wet mud. So when you stepped on it, you got flooded on top of your shoe, but it wasn't muddy water. Yeah, it's like I said, it was a wetlands. So that's what a lot of that happened. And yeah, you know, I'd step to the side and like my pants would get pushed down into the dirt and that would grind dirt into the fabric. But like the nice cleats, it didn't, a lot of it stuck to it. They were just really wet on the inside. They're in the back of the car right now. I'm sipping on water and coffee to abate my grumbly stomach. So, what do you have for... You've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah. I think I'm about halfway through season 1. I'm enjoying it.
It's one of those series that is like... That's like... I don't want to say it's like a breaking point between Aaron and I, but it's like... Aaron likes that series, whereas I don't... To me, I don't go down to that level. He's watched it. I've chuckled at a few things, but it's definitely not something I'd sit through on my own.
Yeah.
Like, I pay more attention to Doctor Who and Torchwood than I do Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I get why it's funny. Like, I'm sitting there playing WoW or doing stuff on Star Trek Online, and something comedic happens, and I'm like... But I don't know.
It's stupid humor.
Andy Samberg is not compelling to me.
I spent probably about half the time that I was here on my own with it on in the background trying to wipe this computer, and about half of that time was me walking around the apartment trying to find a thumb drive.
Yeah. So...
As big a nerd as I am, you'd think I'd have more thumb drives.
You'd think, but I think we keep handing them off to people with like files on them when we never get them back. So that's what's going on with that. I don't know where we're going to go for FUD. I'm pretty much open to anything as I'm going to be like screamingly hungry here soon. But if I'm like, oh, I'm open to anything, Aaron would be like, let's go to some place neither of us are going to eat food. Red Lobster. You said you were...
I have been trying to figure out how to go to Red Lobster just for their biscuits.
Yeah, the thing is, he also eats shellfish. He eats shrimp. He eats lobster. Right? Yes. And you
Eating it is not the same as liking it, though.
But both of us do not eat fish. You're not a crab person, are you?
No.
So like Joe's Crab Shack. Although, like McGrath's, but that's a fish house. The thing is that I know about McGrath's, and the few times I've been there, because the general bulk of people wanted to go have fish, they do have burgers. This is not a Joe's Crab Shack, where it was like, they had crab burgers.
Yeah.
Like their nachos had crab in it, crab meat. And I was like, you guys are a little over the top here. But thanks for specializing. McGrath's is much more open to everyone.
Yeah.
And they have vegetarian options. Joe's Crab Shack did not have vegetarian. Their vegetarian options were like side salads. And I'm sitting here with like Alyssa and Eddie and Aaron, who are going to be basically getting a bucket full of crab legs and like the... And I'm like sitting here eating a side salad. I would have felt bad. So I tried to eat a burger, but the burger patty was super thick. So we're not going to Cracker Barrel because F that noise.
Yeah.
It's only 2 o'clock. It's icky outside, so there's probably not a lot of people out. So
on Black Bear.
that works. There's not a lot of people out because they're already past lunch and they're not yet for dinner. But again, I said it's icky. Not as icky here as it was up at practice. And aside from the mud, it started like wintry mix while I was up there. Like I could see the little, like, as I was calling it, that Kid Picks spray paints dot pattern. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, here comes the wintry mix. Yeah, so I ended up like driving and leaving, missed my stop, went halfway down Patton Parkway. I was like, oh, what? Like, I had no idea where I was. And I was like, do I just get a, and I'm like, Google's not doing anything. I'm rerouting in my head. I'm like, okay, so I'm about to hit 117th. Do I want to go down all the way 117th and then hit 500? Oh man, there's so many lights in between there, and everyone does 117th. Should I just take Patton Parkway to 205? Oh man, that's going to be weird because then I have to go down to 14 and I have to screw around with that I-5 interchange. Should I take Patton Parkway all the way down through Hazeldale, get on I-5 at that point? Nah, might as well just take this all the way. Wound up turning at 117th because there was like a massive backup down. She just starts talking in the middle of me talking, and I'm just like, honey, stop. Stop. Ooh. It's cheaper than Malto Meal. It's Lucky Charms, and it's not Malto Meal Lucky Charms. It's Kroger Lucky Charms. It's like twice the size of Malto Meal for like $1 less. And I'm like, why not? Aaron had them last night. They're Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I had them this morning too.
Oh, nice. Well, click. We ate at Black Bear. Aaron's like, Black Bear are Bannings, and I think Aaron was just like, Black Bear's closer. So we went there. I wound up having a taco salad and like 2 pancakes. I thought they'd be slightly smaller pancakes than the literally dinner platter sized pancakes that they were.
Yeah, the guy said, oh yeah, you can get a side of pancakes. They're like, 1, 2, or 3.
And I was like,
And they came and it was like 2.
Yeah, when I say dinner platter, like there's salad plates, then there's your small like serving plates, and then there's your dinner plates, and then there's dinner ovals. And this was a dinner oval. Yeah. That's why I call it a serving platter.
Yeah, those are giant pancakes.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah, the Lugia popped up on the Pokemon thing while we were there the entire time, but nobody came and fought it, and Aaron and I cannot.
Yeah, we can't duo a Lugia.
No.
Lugia? We can't duo any legendary.
Yeah. Although you probably could have done a fair bit of damage because I think Psychic v Psychic does something. So we're probably just going to head home. And yeah. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to do the next season of Voltron, all 4 episodes of it.
Ooh, Amazon sent me a notification that there's an Acer laptop with a Core i5 processor and 200 gig SSD for $566. Oh, because I was looking up laptops for the new person at work.
So yeah. Pokemon's Day tomorrow. In case I didn't bring that one up, I'm getting a little stupid because I did do warm-ups and we did do hard pass drill, and then I wound up being an outside linebacker after a while. But so I'm not like dead, but this is like my only meal, so that's why I ate like all that I did. It's still like half an hour of stuff because you know and whatnot. Anyways, yeah, I need to get to driving. Kava brewing. Morning. What is on my hand? So, did I tell you guys? Yeah, we did. We went by Black Bear, and then I didn't record anything the rest of the night. Because I sat down. Aaron was finishing up the computer installing. Apparently that's for work. I keep getting confused because all the laptops he deals with look the same. So, I was like, is that your dad's laptop again? No, it's your work. It's a work one. Oh, okay. He's like the de facto IT guy. So, yeah, that's morning stretches. So I get my leg and a foot's up on the counter, but really it's to stretch this without having to like hold my leg in any way, and it's strange. But so. He was finished that up, but while he was sitting on the couch, I did my monk, a little bit on my mage, and then I switched over to Star Trek and was going to do the breach, but then I was like, nah. Aaron was done by then. He didn't have much more to do, and then so he moved over to his computer, and I did this couple episodes of Voltron. Hello, Waffles. And then it was like 8, and I saw that I'd had Black Mirror on my watch later, so but it wanted to give me like season 5, and I'm like, why? Because the episodes are ordered on their thing weirdly. They're in a reverse, or they're in descending order within the season, but the seasons are in, no, they're in ascending order going down within the season, but the seasons are in descending order. So it goes like 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. Then below that it's like 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. And it's like, so when I went all the way to the bottom to watch the first episode, it was the 3rd episode. They're all they're not dependent on each other. It's like a Twilight Zone thing. Aaron said he tried to watch season 3, episode 1, and that kind of, it unsettled him because it was about social media. And I was like, okay. The 2 we watched last night from season 1, which wound up being episode 2, or episode 3, and I think I watched episode 2, and that's when I realized everything was screwed up. They weren't that bad. They're obviously, I mean, I'd say you guys watch it. It's kind of, the tagline is it takes place in a world minutes from ours. The last one we watched actually had the guy from Get Out, but this was probably far before Get Out. Let me check. Black Mirror, and thus he would have been in the episode 5 Million Merits, December 11th, 2011. Get Out was 2017, so 5 years after the fact. Yeah, it's got 4 seasons on IMDb. Oh no, Black Mirror, yeah, 4. Aaron watched Nosedive. The girl was like really obsessed with her standing on social media. Woman desperate to boost her social media score hits the jackpot when she's invited to a swanky wedding, but the trip doesn't go as planned. But like we watched the entire history of you, the national anthem. That one might be a little. Yeah, but yeah. So that's that. I will get going with my morning, and it's apparently a Pokemon community day today. So Aaron and I have plans to, like, weather dependent, head up through the nature park. Like, we don't care if it's wet, we just don't want it to be raining. If it's like lightly raining, then the trees will cover a lot of what we're doing on our screens. But we'll, like, depending on the weather, like 10:45, leave here, walk up through the nature park, and then come back. But most of that time will be during the, well, because it starts at 11. So anyways, I'm rambling, and we'll probably talk later. I want to get, man, I don't know what I want to do this morning. It's because all my cooldowns and stuff are set for later in the day. Guess it's time to go read the playbook.
Haha, that's burning my toes off. That's burning my toes off. Yeah. It's really nice weather. The clouds are like super high. Like I was last night. It's 8:21. Oh, phone. I have it on like a mediocre power setting. So the towel is up in the way of the screen, so I keep thinking if I can't see myself, you guys can't see me. But I just have to look at the screen. You're sideways. It's on the towel so I don't heat it up on the coffee cup, because the coffee cup has super hot coffee in it right now. It always makes me wonder when I see people doing exercises, whether they're in the gym down here or they're at the gym or they're at Crunch, and they do slightly wrong exercises. I mean, they're going through most of the motion, but they're doing like assisting maneuvers. That guy, for instance, was doing the one-arm pull, but he was leaning forward and like pulling back. Now, I understand that does pull it a little bit more, and it does get a little bit of trunk twisting, but it's a little much. There are other people when they're doing their, it's so, I've watched a lot of fitness guys, and I've talked with Willie about this stuff. You really want to go for more range of motion than you do how high a weight you can go. Because specifically like with your bicep, when you're doing I see a lot of guys do this one, and they'll go like, and they'll like be right next to the mirror, and like the moment they get they stop. But your bicep can go this much farther, and you get that much more squeeze out of it. Well, I can't go that far with 15 pounds. Okay, go to 10 and do that. You know, also don't do this. Go all the way out and all the way in. This works prayer thing too. Go all the way out to the point where your elbow is, where your elbow is flat, and then pull it back up. You have to go down and wait, you have to go down and wait, but trust me, you're breaking down far more muscle fibers. And when you break down, and the more muscle fibers you break down, the sorer your muscles feel, and they feel like you're actually doing gains. Unless you want gains without soreness, and then why are you working out? Just go to the freaking treadmill. Balancing on my, not even like my full hand. Like, I'm only like, it's backwards, so I'm like pretty much only on the thumb and where my index finger and middle fingers touch with the palm, and then the middle fingers go out, and then the ring finger is, and the pinky is barely doing anything. It's just like resting on the ground. It's not a great exercise because I'm mainly supported by water. It negates a lot of that water weight, so it does help. It just says, that's the funny thing is people are like, oh my God. Like, I understand that fat floats to an extent, but you also got to remember that when you're in water, you weigh less technically because you're a lot of water. And when you've got water in water that's neutral, fat floats, but you also don't nearly weigh as much as you do, which is mainly why people can still float. To an extent, even when they don't have much body fat. My lower quads, like right above my knee where those two little bumps are, when you flex your quad and the two little knobs, those are sore. It's probably because I was doing a lot of O-line squatting. I want to say offline. Offensive line, but I think offline. Ha! I was doing a lot of O-line squatting and trying to hold it while steel made checks and the line made checks. I'm still not sure if I'm in the right stance. I should really ask Tommy about that. He wasn't at prep. And if I'm gonna be on O-line, I gotta be able to follow the basic rules, even if I'm not that good. Should probably go search Mr. Football's channel, see if he's got something about like O-line or something. Oh, the hummingbirds are here. He's over the pool spinning in circles, probably looking for a feeder. So he's looking for that one color. It'll be funny if he comes down and starts pecking at my phone. Or he gets close and is like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And I'm like, it's a phone. I mean, there's a little tiny hole right there he can stick his little pecker into. Not even being weird by that one. It literally is his pecker because it's his beak. That went down a weird path. So I'm gonna get to stretching because the best way to stretch is put my back to the camera. I kind of wish that I set it up over there. I mean, I could zoom this thing in and go over there and do my stretches, but why? I will catch you guys later, actually, at the nature park. We'll see what's going on, because I'm like super close to getting a Venusaur as is, because I have a relatively capped Bulbasaur. Relatively. I might hold off in case I maybe catch a shiny one, because that's what I did. Well, no, the only shiny one I have is a Spoink. I will check you guys later in like 3 hours. So I'm trying to make Sunday a little bit more than it is because it's boring with grocery shopping and possibly watching more Black Mirror tonight because there ain't anything on television. Spoink, you stupid. Anyways. Unless something weird goes on at the store, and I don't think so. We need magnesium, but that's about it. Nothing special. I will catch you guys later. Okay, we're here in the nature park. It's I've caught a fair number of Bulbasaurs, enough to evolve one all the way up if I want, which I'm going to. But I'm checking to see if I get any shiny. It's also wonderful, like Charmander place all in the nature park right now. So Aaron is getting a
bunch of those
so he can get a Charizard for the first time. The nature park has a lot of families and old people in it, and they don't really like, as I've been in here other mornings, they don't like being filmed, even if they're weirded out by video cameras. So there's a lot of cuts. Oh, an egg. Stop for a second, because I saw a bunch of things pop up.
Yeah.
It's Corfish. Got 18 candies out of that. All right, there's the Bulbasaur. I was like, I saw a bunch of stuff, and then the egg was starting to hatch.
Yeah.
No.
The benefit is Bulbasaur is easy to catch right now versus typical.
Yeah.
So I don't have to use, you know, blue and black balls on it.
Save those for the Charmanders.
Yeah, I'm just catching Charmanders for candy, technically. So, I mean, I already have a Charizard. He's actually fairly strong as is. So...
I mean, I literally am too.
Well, you need to get a Charizard. I have one. And I can just use the candies to pump him up. He's already fairly strong as is. I don't need one to supersede him. I mean, I'll take a second one, but this, that, and the other thing. So, yeah, it's nice that it's actually blue-ish. I mean, well, this is partially cloudy. Hopefully Pokemon doesn't register that anytime soon, because then we will lose the Bulbasaur poison bonus for cloudy. Hella for chopters. Hella for chopters.
Get to the Rufflecopter.
Ruffle, 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 ruffle. So yeah, I'm gonna put my arm down. There's no sense in recording life coming back into the world via spring. I guess. I don't know. See you guys probably after mod. Well, it wasn't crowded with the church folk, but there was definitely a crowd in there. The people behind me could not technically they probably could have, but they couldn't have necessarily sat any closer. Like, they were like, their elbows were bumping me in the back, and I could hear every bit of their conversation. And the amount of coding stuff that they were talking about sounded like a bunch of BS to each other, and I think Aaron would have, like, killed them.
Glad I didn't hear him then.
Yeah. They're talking like, they said something about PHP is the most inferior coding language out there. And I was like, what? And all that jazz. And I was like, oh, okay.
There's a joke in the PHP community that there are two kinds of coders. People who know PHP and people who don't hate it.
Okay. These guys seemed like... They seemed like from when you and I were in high school, these seemed like the new age Linux users. Like, I'm not sure exactly what they were programming or just talking about, but it was like one of their friends had the Portland Pilot shirt on, and every time he went over to get napkins, he was always like bending down and being really dainty and delicate with everything. And I was like, I didn't know the Portland Pilots. I didn't know that Portland State University, not Portland State. What's the one up there on the hill over Swan Island? Portland University? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, I didn't know Portland University, which is a private kind of religious-based college, you know, had a GSA, because that guy was acting very, very... And I made a joke to myself. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were gay. Oh, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. It's just reminded me of something I saw on TV many years ago. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so great to see another gay guy. Bitch, I'm not gay. And I was like the idea is this person was acting totally flamboyant.
Yeah.
And was not gay. And like everybody in the room knew it, but nobody said anything.
Yeah.
I think it might have been on Mad TV or SNL. The community day went well for us. We got he got himself a Charizard.
Yep.
All that jazz. We both got a special ability.
Venusaur.
Looked right into that reflection of the sun over there.
Mm-hmm.
Over to Freddy's. So, we watched a little bit more, one episode of Black Mirror.
It was a long one though.
Yeah. It felt long. I mean, we're so used to 45-minute episodes.
That was an hour and a half.
Oh, that was an hour and a half.
I think.
They should have made... No, I don't think that's the hour and a half one. It just seemed super droning on. That one, of all things, kind of droned on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I understand it was sort of... I understand what it was poking at.
I hope so.
It was utilizing No Man's Sky with the infinitely procedural universe, but more or less, Eve?
Yeah.
This is my territory, get out. I'm like, I don't know, you know. And then people assuming the commander of their own starship was Star Trek Online. Specifically since the guy was basically using a Galaxy Quest version of the original series.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you like the Twilight Zone stuff, I don't think Black Mirror is going to disappoint.
Yeah. It's It's very Twilight Zone-y.
Yeah, but we watched The Giver last night, so that's we'll talk about that here as soon as we get out of the apartment. The thing that confused me for so long when I was in high school is everyone had read in middle school The Giver. I avoided reading books like the plague. So when it came down to like English class and doing the required reading, I didn't. No excuses, I didn't want to read. I still don't really like to read. And I know that a lot of people don't like to read because they have trouble reading. I don't have trouble reading. I just don't like doing it. Except in short stints to read like an article. It's just a thing I like to do. Anyways, so I kept confusing The Giver with The Giving Tree.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Which, they're nothing alike. But everyone's like, did you ever read The Giver? And I was like, my teacher read The Giving Tree to me, and they're like, no, not The Giving Tree, The Giver. And my brain being relatively like naive and to this point autistic and literal, I was saying The Giver, The Giving Tree, isn't that the same thing? They're the same words. Why would anybody name something so similar? Because I've never read a book, so I didn't know that you could pretty much name a book the exact same thing as something else and be just fine, even though these weren't named exactly the same. But like the book Broke Down Palace and the movie Broke Down Palace are nothing alike.
No.
It holds true now, and I know it would have back then, if the movie, the 2014 movie, would have come out while I was in high school. I'd have had a major crush on that guy. The main character, yeah. Jonas. Yeah. He was actually also Pirates of the Caribbean. He was the kid that was the son of Will.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But you just probably didn't recognize him because of like long scraggly hair that comes from being in Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah.
That was him. He's been in a few other things. It's not like, and that was not his acting debut, thankfully. Because he actually did a pretty good job, and usually if your acting debut is a pretty good job, you either gave everything to it or something else. It was very strange, very simplified plot. I can see the book obviously being much more detailed.
Yeah.
Let's go that way. I mean, that's what I have to do, and that's what Brad and I talk about. He's like, he's so tired of people complaining that the book was so much better, and we're like, no duh. What the movie has to do in 2 hours or less, you get to spend 300 pages at. And I guarantee, and
yeah, there's no contest. The book will always have more detail, and the book will always have more in it.
And there's obviously more detail in the script, you know, and that's part of the thing is people are like, oh, the detail in the book. Because the book has to literally describe the rooms, possibly. Like, whereas a screen, you can just be like, this is the room. You see it all in a picture. It has its benefit. Yeah. But it's like, what they're complaining about is that I didn't get to see the Giver's library the way I saw it. And that's kind of what it is. I completely understand that, like, character interactions and I want to say relationships, but not like romantic relationships, kind of go by the wayside sometimes, especially in like the Harry Potter books. And they drop little tidbits of information and like abridge it. But the thing is, the movie still got across the storyline of the original book, but it didn't get in all the character nuances. But that's fine. At least, I mean, how many people watched the Harry Potter movies and then went, oh, let's go read this book series then, and then went and read an entire book series?
Not many.
Oh, I was like, man, I thought I'd be in like the minority of that, where I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go read the book.
No, most of the time, once people see the movies, they don't bother reading the books. I mean, heck, I didn't. I read some of the books beforehand. I don't think I ever finished the series reading it. I don't know if I ever finished watching the series. I think I did, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, like I said, that's from what I was reading on the synopsis of the book, on like Wikipedia and stuff, the movie did a very good job of getting the main plot points across. Even though it probably didn't stress probably the blandness of the world prior to.
Yeah, everything felt, and so for the first few minutes of the movie, everything's in black and white, and all of the language used is very stilted and very proper, and I was afraid it was going to be like, oh god, this is going to be the whole movie. I'm going to kill these people.
Yeah, and that's the benefit, is that he starts waking up, and every time they have to go back to only community characters, they go back to black and white and
Yeah.
precision of language.
But yeah, overall it's good.
And they slowly moved into the color. They didn't just like he kind of saw.
It was.
Yeah, and it's like even with Pleasantville, it was sort of like odd because like he was seeing sections of color.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, like he saw her hair and then it went away, and then he saw this and then it went away.
Yeah.
And then once he started getting the memories, like everything went into that sepia tone. Then everything went into like a weird like rosy grayscale.
Yeah.
And then everything was full on color.
It was really well done art wise.
Oh, there's your train.
But yeah. Bye.